Hello and welcome to A Gypsy Kiss, the book club. I'm Shelley Carney.
And I'm Toby Eunice. Stick with us a couple of seconds and we'll explain to you why we're drinking champagne today. Maybe too much. All right. I think we're back, but I'm not sure if we have audio right now. Why don't we check with everybody?
Champagne Book Club. Okay, who can hear us and who cannot? All right.
All right. So first, let me apologize because we just had a monster of a setup as usual. We had set up, everything was going fine, and then we did the test and we had no audio, so literally it was one of those, oh my God, let's restart the Windows system, which always takes more time than you expect.
Yeah.
So here's to our first anniversary.
Tink.
They were plastic. I was afraid that I was going to drop them. Here's
Yay.
our first anniversary as
First anniversary.
YouTube
Woohoo.
creators. We'd like to thank everybody for being part of this. We love that you're here. We love that you're celebrating our first anniversary with us. We've had a great year doing this. I just got a question this morning on the account about why are we making these videos. The answer to that question is we're making these videos because we love making these videos. They're fun. They keep us busy. They keep us entertained. And it's great just seeing you guys in every one of these shows. So here's to our 1 year anniversary.
Yay.
And when I say our, I include you guys as well. All right?
Absolutely.
So thank you for those anniversary wishes. Okay.
Nummy.
It is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's at Moet. It's good champagne.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I did there. I probably did something in OBS that I wasn't supposed to do. Hang on, let me make one quick change here. And then go here and go here and...
All right.
After you.
The glass door today. Housekeeping. We want to give out special thanks to our moderators. As always, we so appreciate you for being here, keeping our chat going on the straight and narrow. And as Michelle Obama says, when they go high, we go. They go low, we go high.
Right,
so that's
it.
that's
Okay.
what we want.
No
we
more
want we want everybody to come here to feel safe, to feel heard, and to feel wanted. And those are our goals. So our moderators help us achieve those goals every time. Thank you to Jimmy Fast, Man in the Barn, and Joe Lewicki.
And one day, somehow, we'll figure out how to repay you guys for all the work that you do. Last night was just amazing. You guys were right on top of it. And I think it's us keeping this safe place to operate with the chat is mostly because of you guys and the work that you do, and we truly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Today's presentation will be from The Thrill of the Chase, what we call Chapter 5, called Bessie and Me, and that will be followed by Q&A.
It's going to be a short chapter, so let's do open Q&A.
It's
today.
a very short chapter. It's from page 28 through 31, and most of it's photographs. So that's where we'll be today.
Yeah, but we will cover it, and Shelley, of course, has done a really good analysis on what was available to analyze, and I have some comments on it as well. I can say that I didn't necessarily find anything that was of interest from what does Sean Dodson, a cold cognitive side. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say, what you saw in it, and what you think of it, because I think we're going to have to rely on you. I didn't pick up a lot, unfortunately, or fortunately,
Yeah.
depending. Let's talk about Super Chat. Super Chat is the way that you can help us keep our project going, and perhaps today would be good since we're celebrating our first anniversary. Would
You
make a
wanna
nice
get in on that stuff.
nice anniversary present. So
Yeah.
even you folks on iOS now have the Super Chat button down at the bottom of your chat window. In the case of iOS, it's on the right-hand side. But if you click on that $, the one right next to the emoji, you'll come to step 2. You'll be presented a blue bar, and what it's doing is giving you the opportunity to have a second thought about whether or not you want to invest in our project or not. And then you'll go to step 3. If you click that blue bar, you'll go to step 3. The first step in step 3 is move the blue slider bar from left to right. That is an indication of how much you want to contribute to the project. If you want to contribute anything at all, we accept all contributions from the least to, if you slide it all the way over to the right, it's $500. So there's a
Or $9.99.
or $9.99. I don't know how Denise Bagley found $9.99 last night, but she did, and you did not contribute twice according to YouTube, Denise. Thanks for that. And last night also, very much thanks to John Bobbitt, who contributed $100 to us last night. It was really great celebrating our anniversary with us.
That was nice.
And then step 2 is to enter your question. If you're going to go ahead and pay us and donate to our project, please take the time to ask a question so we can make sure it gets it answered. It's highlighted on the screen for us, and it holds it at the top of the screen until we do something with it. So, and then step 3 is click that blue bar again, buy and send. That'll get you through Super Chat. So back to today's Forrest Fenn Memoirs Book Club, The Thrill of the Chase, Chapter 5, Bessie and Me, short chapter. This is a photograph that I took of notes that I made way back in 2013. And I wanted to collect information on the various parties that were involved in the chase, mention the book. This is the only photograph in the book that has all 5 members of the Fenn family in it. So I made some notes regarding their births, deaths. I added Donnie Joseph Heath because he was the one that married June, and Donnie is mentioned in the book as a very good friend of Fenn's. You can find a copy of this picture on our blog. It's probably 2 or 3 posts old where we reference it, but you're welcome to download it and keep it for your own information if you'd like. That way you don't have to research the information yourself. So, Q&A, that's it. I got to close for you, but we can go to Q&A.
Well, let's talk about the book for a moment.
Okay.
And again, it's page 28 through 31. Did you have any other comments about the photographs, 28 through 31?
No, when I had this book transcribed, I made notes for the woman that was doing the transcriptions so that she could document them. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me. So these are the 2 pages. So you can see my little notes in the highlighted tabs there. And I made those for the person that I paid to transcribe the book for me, postmarks, subtitles, photographs, photo captions, so that when she made the transcription, she could include all of that. But what I was required to do is kind of go through both the transcript and this, and suggest in my own notes what was important to me on this. The only thing that I really found I shouldn't say of any interest, was the lines, "Until you have loved a cow, part of your soul remains undiscovered," which to me, I suppose I can understand, because I had a love for horses at one time in my life and kind of felt the same way. But it's interesting. It's a deep analysis for something that's a cow. It strikes me that in Fenn's case, if you until you have loved art, part of yourself is undiscovered. I don't know what I found in a horse, other than, except that they were pretty loyal. And I don't know what he found in a cow, perhaps.
I could say something. Would you want?
Okay, well, let me finish this one.
Your mom couldn't run over a horse. I'm sorry, that was horrible.
Now I have to tell the story. So my father died when I was very young, and I was told that at that age I was affected negatively by it, and enough so that my mother and my uncles noticed it. So they bought me a dog, and he was a Heinz 57. I don't know what breed he was, but I named him Dopey. And Dopey and I had a great time, and it was he was distracting me away from the fact that I lost my father. And one day Dopey this was before people worried about whether their dogs would get outside their yards. You just when Dopey was ready to come in, he came in. So one day my mother came in, and she had gone to get groceries, and she came in the door, And she said, run outside and help me with the groceries. And, oh, by the way, I ran over your dog. So that's what Shelley was referring to. It's one of my life stories of my mother.
So you can love a horse and not have to worry about somebody running it over.
Yeah. The other thing was the Miss Ford suggested the next time maybe I should change pants before class. It was just like her saying, it was just like her to say something like that. And again, what I found in that statement was that love-hate relationship, the crush on the teacher that just doesn't give him enough attention. And when she does give him any kind of attention, it's always negative. So.
Well, and that's the only paragraph that I pulled out as well. Since you've read it already, I will just say that...
give us your notes, because you have the hot cognitive analysis. And I can comment on that.
I'm going to read the whole... I guess I'll just read the whole paragraph. It's the very last paragraph, page 31.
It's fine.
Paragraph
Let
1.
me read the paragraph, and then you do the analysis.
All right, read the whole thing.
Your analysis.
Well, you already did read it, but we're going to read it the whole thing now.
We're going to read the whole thing. Page 31, paragraph 1. Until you have loved a cow, part of your soul remains undiscovered. Miss Ford suggested that the next time maybe I should change pants before class because he had fallen in the cow poop. And it was just like her to say something like that. If she'd known I was running late for school, she might not have said anything. Sometimes teachers just don't understand. And go ahead with your analysis. I've already made my comments on.
All right.
I'm going to drink my champagne later.
All right. And I didn't make any comments on the photographs, the postmark, or anything else. So if you and the audience would like to do that, that would be awesome.
Okay.
So I'm just going to be remarking on the chapter as a whole and this paragraph in particular. Fenn tells about the family cow that he was responsible for milking. He recalls sitting on the stool, being swatted by her tail, and squirting milk into the mouths of the neighborhood cats. For the most part, this chapter feels like what Fenn would have told a person who was looking at the photos of his family with the cow. Basic recollections of his time spent with the cow are familiar to anybody else who's ever milked a cow. In fact, I talked to my husband about this, and he said, "Oh yeah, cow swat you with the tail. I've squirted milk into the cat's mouths. That's a lot of fun." So my husband was like, "Yeah, that's absolutely the experience of milking a cow."
Kevin was a 4-H guy.
Future Farmers of America.
Sorry, FFA.
Yeah. Fenn seems to revel in the simple things in life and in caring for an animal as an extension of caring for his family. Again, this particular animal he talks about gives milk for his family. He doesn't tell you much about dogs or cats or other than that. He has more of a relationship with the cow than he does with the other animals, it seems like. Because it provides milk for the family. The final few sentences once again talk about Miss Ford and how he felt about her saying something regarding his appearance or smell when he was more concerned about being on time for class. This caps the story off with a summation that tells us, no matter what you focus on in the moment, you will miss seeing something else. Fenn seems to advise us to be careful what we choose to focus on because we cannot see everything at once and will surely miss something. And that's all I've got.
Somebody was saying something about the echo on the mics. I think it's coming from my headset, so I've turned that down. So, because my headset is right next to the mic.
I said it's good. Gone now.
And I turned the mics down just a bit. So that's it. That is all our commentary on this particular chapter. It does have, of course, the postmark. 25th of August, 1937 was a Wednesday rather than a Thursday. The subtitle was Backyard. And to me, whenever Fenn mentions his backyard, he mentions it in the same way that somebody who had grown up in that time period mentions it. Your backyard was your playground. It was your picnic area. It was, again, all of those things. And if you look at the home in Temple, Texas, you could understand why he talks about the backyard in a nice way, in a good way. He's mentioned it a couple of times in relation to the farm animals that they kept on the property and what he was doing growing up. And a lot of the photographs from the Temple period, from the photographs that they took from Temple, are indeed backyard photographs, including the ones here. So the only thing that I thought was interesting is that the 6 cats go along with the 3, 6, 9 Fenn rule that I made up. It's not really a Fenn rule, but
it's a Toby rule.
But it's the Toby rule.
I enjoyed the photographs because it reminded me of when I was growing up. You didn't really take photographs of each other unless it was like you were as a reason, like the kids were wearing their Halloween costumes, so you took a photo of that, or first day of school maybe you took a photo of that. Of course, it's not anywhere near what we do now, because with digital cameras you can take 3,000 pictures and delete them all very simply. But this, of course, as most of us know, a film camera, you had to use up the film, take it into the store, have it get developed. A week later, you'd pick them up. They were black and white at that time, and it was an expense. So somebody's family who didn't have very much money wouldn't be taking a lot of photographs. So those that were saved were, I imagine, brought back a lot of memories and were probably taken for a reason at the time. I'm not sure about the one where he's with the cow. It seems like the father is prominent in that picture.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, the father is prominent in that picture. I think it was the new cow. The cow was young there. It was probably they had just gotten the cow. And so apparently his mom took the picture because she's not in it. And taking a picture of the proud father with the cow. And even the little dog is in it.
They haven't mentioned the puppy.
Yeah,
before.
they don't really talk about the dog. The kids are like, yeah, whatever, from their expressions. And the one next to it with the neighbor children, you have to wonder, well, those children are pretty dressed up. It could have been a holiday. It could have been Easter or something, a special day. Because normally you wouldn't get all the kids together and take a photograph of them, especially if they were playing together every day. You wouldn't think to do that. And then, of course, the family photo is quite interesting. It looks like it would have been done in a studio. They're all dressed up for it. Mom had her hair done, and Dad's wearing his nice suit, and the boys are wearing matching suits, which is really cute. So, and of course, everybody, I think, when the kids were about that age, a family would take a family portrait just to have that and to share it with other family members.
And the other thing about snapshots, I just, about 3 weeks ago, I received a package of photos from my cousin James. He's just a little bit younger than me, but he had been going through some things that belonged to my uncle and his father, and found all these photos from our childhood period. And it was just amazing. It brought back memories. I mean, there was a couple of pictures of me and my brother and my sister before my youngest brother was born. And you had forgotten. It brought back these memories of where I was growing up, very similar to this. So one of the things about a memoir is that you're going to share, you're not only going to write about your memories, you're going to share imagery from those memories with the audience of your book. So I think he does a really good job. There was no ulterior motives in this particular chapter that I could discern, other than, of course, I still think he had a crush on Miss Ford, and she just didn't seem to recognize it as something probably all young men of that age go through at one time or the other if you went to a school where they had something other than nuns or Christian brothers, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I got. We're ready for Q&A. Why don't we go down and... why don't you greet everybody?
Okay.
And I'll look for questions while you're doing that.
Let's see. I'm going to pick it up so I can...
Yeah, feel free. You probably
I did everything.
Oh.
There it is. Okay. Oh. All right. So Joel Lewicki is here saying happy anniversary in emojis. Very nice.
Thank you.
Eric Schmidt, good afternoon. Man in the barn. And
Eric, they weren't technical. Well, they were technical difficulties, but nothing that we couldn't, correct pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it wasn't the internet, but it might have just been that we rebooted the computer.
That's all we had to do, actually.
Yeah. Let's see. A Tipsy's Kiss. The straight mustard is here today. Terrific. And that's...
so the secret of opening champagne bottles, I'm 69 years old, take my word on this. Secret of opening champagne bottles without having the champagne spill is turn the bottle, hold the cork, and turn the bottle from the bottom. that'll prevent it from blowing
Yeah,
up.
and I've done that, and it's still squirted, so whatever.
You got to have as much practice.
Jason Hilgerson, hello. T.I. Mattis. Lori James.
Is Mary Greening? T.I. but no Mary?
Paul Oder Rubikson. And happy anniversary from the Straight Mustard. Amy Smith. Journeyman. JT, happy anniversary. Rick Plank, hello from Cincinnati. Andrew West, congrats on the 1 year. Did we not get notifications sent out today?
There are people coming in like...
Yeah, I see notifications, so they did go out. All right, Susan Heckenleibel.
T.I. Mattis, you're right. They are the best mods ever.
Steve Smitherman, Jason Hilgerson, Paul McGinty, Doug Scullery. Greetings from London, UK.
Cheers, Denise. Thank you.
Jimmy Fast was at the Collected Works bookstore.
Oh, when was that? Should have
Just
called
now?
us. We'd have come up for coffee.
Yeah, come on down and you could have done the live show with us, right?
Let those folks at Collected Works know that we're covering Fenn's books every Thursday, and maybe they could provide a sponsorship for us. Sean N.M.'s here. Sean Dodson. So, Sean, I was trying to describe something to Shelley this morning that related to my daughter, or Sean Dodson. So I'm going to have to do with you that I do with the other Seans. So now there's Sean Scott, Sean Wells, and Sean Dodson in my life.
And Sean Malloy.
Oh, and Sean Malloy.
Andrew West, Paul Ammons, Michael Elder. Home of Brown could be a barn.
Susan, your comment on time, we agree. Time is a very important component for Fenn, especially now that he's in the latter half of his life. Okay, I just pushed a question past them. Let me see.
Paul Oder Robickson. I think it's strange that he names exactly 6 cats. It could hint to Ernest Hemingway, who was given a 6-toed cat. The cat was called Snow White.
Paul, we have a homemade theory called the 369 rule. We look at Fenn's work, the body, the entire body of Fenn's work, and there's a lot of 369 references in it, from the 9 clues to the 6 cats to the 3. You're good at this. 3 what? 3 Fenn what? I'll think of something.
3 blind mice.
3 blind mice. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking.
Did we get through the echo, guys? I see a lot of. Let's see.
Man in the Barn says, Ms. Ford, change pants sounds like putting on hip waders to me.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's kind of what. Getting into my chest waders is always a really good experience for me. Straight Mustard, AGK, what is your opinion of with the postmarks having the days off? Straight Mustard, I started looking at that. That was one of the first, things I noticed after I bought the book, because I went and checked the postmarks. His graphics designer, Susan, what's her last name? Susan just made the decision about the postmarks. He didn't have very much to do with them. I went through them, and the only thing that I discovered is, the majority of them, the high percentage of them are different in days than from what they were actually in real life. I tried to make that into something. I also tried it on the second set of postmarks, and I can't get anything out of it. So Shelley mentioned that she had read someplace that Susan, I'm sorry, I can't remember her last name, his graphics designer that worked on all 3 of his memoirs, she made the decision on the postmarks. So there may not be anything there other than personal interest. I can't even make it work with dates. He has a fascination with the November 2nd date. Can't find the November 2nd in any of the postmarks. So
I found that in Terry Scant, so it was a reference from somewhere, but it was in Terry Scant. It's where I found it.
Joe Lewicki asks, AGK, do you think these stories like this are or include a possible red herring? And if you do, and if so, why would he do that? I don't. So I have this theory of Fenn that's based on my experience in the intelligence community, and I call it counterintelligence with intent. But I don't think he he started that program of counterintelligence with intent until the chase became a burden. When he wrote this book, I think what he wrote in this book was all done in a positive way, that the clues were positive, that whatever hints were in that were in the book were accidental, and that they were positive. I don't think there is intent in The Thrill of the Chase. I don't even think there's intent in Too Far to Walk or Once Upon a While either. But I do think that once the chase became more popular than he had expected or that he had planned upon, that he started with instances of counterintelligence. I don't know if it's necessarily, I couldn't prove to you that it was red herring, but they are information of distraction. So if that's how you define a red herring, then they've come after this book was published, and as he decided to go into marketing for the other books. So I divide the information he provides us into three categories. One is in the category of positive hints and clues. The second is the category of what I refer to as negative hints and clues, like don't go past the Canadian border, or don't search in Idaho, or things like that. Those are the negative clues. And then the counterintelligence are things like the treasure is 300 miles west of Toledo. Well, interestingly enough, so are the Rocky Mountains. So there are items that he puts out there. Also, when he doesn't answer, was it in last chapter we read that his father reminded him that you should tell the truth, but not all the truth, right? Not the whole. How did he say that?
Just like that.
Just like that, but not all the truth. So in a lot of cases, what I hear from Fenn when he says something is the truth, but it's not all the truth, and it's not a white lie. It's not a lie. It's just not all the truth. And so I always take everything he says, not with a grain of salt. I take it all very seriously, but I break it down to make sure that I completely understand. He's very good at making sentences. He's a master of them. And he's very good at answering questions. And over the years, of course, he's refined his answering of questions to a fixed set of responses that he manipulates in various ways depending on how the question is asked. But I don't think he intentionally throws the implication of your question, red herring, is that it is intentional. I don't think there is anything intentionally placed in this book to be a red herring. I haven't seen any evidence of it. I'm sorry.
And here's what I think.
Yay.
In less than 3,000 words. So when you decide to purchase a vehicle, suddenly you look around and that vehicle's everywhere, right? Because you have your eye fixed on it. You're looking for it. Same way, when Fenn told us, there are hints in the book, now we see hints everywhere. We say, oh, that must be a hint. Oh, this is probably a hint. Wait a minute. What about this? And I think it's the same phenomenon. We're looking everywhere for hints when really there's maybe just a little bit of a hint. And even then he was looking at it with 20/20 hindsight to say, yeah, I guess that could help somebody figure out the clues. So take it with a grain of salt.
So the straight mustard, maybe the cow has to do with the non-human trail thing. Maybe they are supposed to follow the cow grazing trail. That's a rhetorical statement rather than a question. So I'm going to have to answer that the way I do those. Anything is possible. And I generally don't, I try not to make an opinion on your opinion. So if there's a question in there, I'll be happy to answer the question. Did he wear his hat brown around the farm? Oh, that's right. It was George. Okay. Thank you for that bit of information. Asset marketing.
Denise Begley, did you answer her question?
I didn't see.
Right below that one. Right below asset marketing. You just
let's
looked at.
see.
So she says, what have you discovered about 369? I was looking at it yesterday, and I think that's why I was stuck on 999. Haha.
Good one. 990. I don't know how you got 999 out of that ball. I thought
she was probably just moving that little
just
arrow, and then it just kind of like,
okay.
Can't get it quite on the 10.
Doug Scullery, question. Doug, if you're, I think you're new here, I don't see your name, welcome. If you're going to ask us a question, precede it with AGK so that we know it's for us and not necessarily the room. Let's see, would it be possible for someone outside the U.S. to solve this, or good knowledge of the U.S. geography, culture, and history? Absolutely necessary, thanks. So my opinion on the matter, on that matter, is that I'll cite the LGFI rule, the little girl from India rule. Fenn has said that if a little girl from India became interested in her treasure, she could resolve the first two clues from where she was, and then she would have to be boots on the ground. So I'm going to assume that even though you're not an LGFI, that it applies to you as well. Boots on the ground, yeah. That's Jimmy Fast, that's correct. So I'm getting a mention that the echo is back. Is that correct, or was that earlier today? Amy Smith, AGK, the 369 rule is a rule that I made up after reading The Thrill of the Chase, and I think it was right after Too Far to Walk, and doing the research, and I noticed that there was a series of patterns, that there were several patterns that involved the numbers 3, 6, and 9, and multiples thereof that Fenn had a propensity for either intentionally or not unintentionally using. So the 369 rule is our rule, not my rule, not necessarily one.
I keep reminding him that if you look at numerology, Fenn's a 7. So Andrew West, see that?
Andrew West, AGK, I'm going to ask what everyone else seems to be refusing to ask. We all obsess over the home of a certain color. Are we not going to address the first sentence referencing color?
First sentence of this
The poem?
chapter? The poem is, I've gone alone in there, and with my treasures bold, I can keep my secret where and hints of treasures new and old.
Andrew, give us
What's the color?
Give us some more first sentence. My father grew up a beautiful fawn-colored animal. So
That's the only color I'm seeing.
yeah, Andrew, one of the things that I asked everybody to do in this is we couldn't find anything of significance in terms of our analysis. So if you have some analysis that you'd like to share with the room, please feel free, and I'll try to comment on it if I can, if I have anything to add what you're saying. So in answer to your question, as of this point, are we going to address the first?
Is the color of brown?
It is a shade of
brown?
brown, yeah.
Okay.
Fawn-colored cow. So I'll let you. You know what? I'll let you guys discuss that in the room. I don't have a reasonable way to address what you mentioned. It's Amy Smith.
Pamela Shetron wants
Shetron,
to
yeah.
know when the treasure chest is discovered, will you both still do your vlog? Yes, but it'll be about something else, probably.
Yeah, we're going to have to make a decision. We get that question a lot. We're not certain that the treasure is going to be discovered in our lifetime. So we try not. I was going to say we don't worry about it,
Right.
But it's not a worry.
Right.
We haven't even thought about it. We're having so much fun doing what we're doing now that I feel like the worst that could happen is that we're going to keep a YouTube channel, doing our vlog, and find a different topic.
As long as you people keep showing up, we'll keep being here.
Yeah, we'll keep doing it.
That's right.
If you want to, there'll be plenty to talk about after it's found. So, so we'll keep doing it. We'll change the topic. We like what we're doing. We're good at the technology. We like YouTube. So we'll just find something else to talk about. There's lots of other treasures to be found, honestly, that are out there, and I think the number of treasures that are being made available to the public are growing. So we just need to find one or two or three, like Mike Cowling, our associate Mike Cowling on his channel, Calazars. He not only follows a number of treasure hunts, but he also creates his own. So who knows? We like being out in the field. Maybe we'll just go out and hide treasures and challenge you to find them. So But yeah, we'll be around as long as I'm.
We'll do one of those RV channels.
As long as yeah. That's see.
We'll
if
have
it
to
goes
find a
to-
new way to do it, though. There's so many of them already.
Yeah.
So right below that was the straight mustard. What is his obsession with November 2nd? Never heard about that?
The obsession is one that I could have invented. He made sure that the event had collected. The event at Moby Dickens was on November 2nd, and his most recent event at Collected Works was on November 2nd. I imagine there's a reason for that, some recognition of some sort, and I'm willing to bet that somebody in the community knows the answer to that question. I don't know what the answer to that question is. I don't know what the obsession is. Just another set of patterns that I have to chase down.
There's no 3, 6, or 9 in it, so Toby can't figure it out.
I'm trying to see if I can make that work to 2. 3 and 6, 9, 12. No, not 6 and 3. No.
Cindy, guess. So do you see a hint that will help with a clue or an aberration? In this chapter, the only thing I saw was him telling us, choose carefully what you're focusing on, because when you focus on one thing, you're missing other things.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
I didn't identify an aberration in this particular chapter, and I don't expect to find an aberration in every chapter or on every page. He said there are some, when he talked about the aberrations, he said that there were some aberrations out on the edge that might give you some help with the clues, but I don't expect that we're going to find an aberration or a hint in every chapter. My guess is there are probably maybe 3, 6, or 9 aberrations that we need to find.
Yeah, or 7.
Or 7. So is the echo back? I have no idea what's causing the echo. I've got everything else shut off. The speakers are off. Oh, you know what it might be?
Mm-mm.
Could it be no, it's not the microphone from the iPads because they're not going there.
Happiest of birthdays at Shelley. Oh, happiest of birthdays to AGK.
Oh.
He's laughing at whatever I said, whatever it was I said.
Thank you.
And they said I'm spot on, whatever I said. I don't know what it was.
Sean
Thanks.
Dodson. Sean Dodson apparently is just going to agree with Shelley on all these things.
Well, who doesn't, really?
So straight mustard, another one of those rhetoricals. I can't answer that.
You already
Let's see.
talked about the...
Not sure if probably amounts of they mainly stay in lower altitudes. Paul Ammons, AGK, do you think... wait. Do you think that since Forrest Fenn was stuck in the middle, he found comfort with Bessie?
Bessie.
Bessie, the cow. That's very possible. When you're the middle child, I wasn't. I was an oldest child, and kind of a classic oldest child. But I know the middle child always struggles for recognition and identification, and so they'll look for alternatives. And what you hope is that they look for alternatives that are positive influences as opposed to negative, because a middle. Not that any child is not susceptible to.
I think you had 2 middle children, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of experience with that, and I just kept an eye on it because I knew it was possible. And one of them, they both turned out great, and one of them, and they're both the biggest. They happen to be the biggest challenges. I learned more from both of my middle children about being a parent than I did from all the other children combined. The other children are just kind of like meh. The middle children were challenged, and but now one of those middle child just produced a beautiful grandbaby, and she's happy in her work and happy in living.
There's another one on the way.
And there's another
Not
one.
from her, but
No.
the other one.
So we're just producing grandchildren like they're going out of style. Okay, Denise Bagley, please answer my question about 369. Have you figured out what it means? I think you may have been distracted by my joke. So, Denise, the 369 was a pattern, a repetitive pattern that I noticed in my reading of The Thrill of the Chase. It was reinforced again in Too Far to Walk. But to me, when I see a pattern of utilization, I have to wonder whether or not that is in the individual's nature or whether or not they're trying to tell me something. So, and I haven't resolved that yet. I notice it, and because I notice it, it feeds itself. You know, Shelley will debate me often over this matter, but it's not a rule. It's a pattern that I noticed, and I haven't been able to transform it into something that's important. I've got 9 clues, 3, 6, 9. I've got 6 stanzas, 3, 6, 9, etc., etc. So there's a lot of those patterns in there that in my very personal opinion, may have some meaning, but I haven't been able to resolve it. So I don't want you to think that there's some magical 369 thing going on. It's all in my head, which could be good or bad. We never know.
Well, Sean Malloy says, I disagree with the assessment of this chapter. I think it is important, not the least of which is that Forrest finds himself in deep doo-doo when he doesn't stay along the edge. Stay along the edge.
No, Sean, the reason we do this is so that people can freely and comfortably express their opinions. Thank you.
But that being said, it is difficult to come right out and read this chapter and then say, oh, here's exactly what Fenn is saying, and you should all just listen to me, and I'm right, because I know everything about Fenn. We have to guess. We have to do our best to make an assessment using the tools that we have available to us as people. So we're not always right, and we're doing the best we can.
Once where we weren't, hey, we don't have the treasure, so obviously we're not always right.
And I would love to be able to read one of these chapters and say, oh my gosh, everybody, look, here's the aberration, and here's exactly what it means, but
it just doesn't happen.
I don't think it's going to happen that way.
Yeah.
I wish it would, but after 8 years, if it hasn't happened by now.
But again, Sean, thanks for expressing your opinion.
If someone finds the treasure, do you think they can make more than the treasure is worth on a talk circuit? Well, if they have the right publicist and, they follow along with doing everything the exact right way, they could probably make a lot of money.
And they're going to have to spend all that money on security.
Sloan painted many barns.
From Michael Elder.
Could Home of Brown be a barn? Bessie was a fawn-colored animal and lived in a barn.
Fenn's told us more than once that the elements of the poem are not associated with a structure. I think he did that for 2 reasons. One was, A, it's not associated with a structure, because the implication of where he hides it in a special place doesn't strike me as anything that would relate to a structure. And B, he doesn't want us messing around with structures that all started back in, I don't know.
Structures are likely to be on private property.
Right. Well, that was all back when people were starting to dig up outhouses, looking for the, quote, Home of Brown, unquote. So, no, we don't think it's associated with a structure.
Hello, Bill Cross.
Okay, the straight Monday. November 2nd is the 360th day of the year, the Gregorian calendar. There are 59 remaining. Okay.
She's helping you with your 3-6 minutes.
Oh, okay. Susan Heckenliable. AGK, the chapter mentions cold morning. Maybe it will be worth the cold of an early morning hunt as a time reference. Could be. I like it. Also, that explains the dew, the wet treasure chest from dew. Amy Smith, AGK, what is numerology and why is Forrest Fenn a 7? I've heard of someone being a 4 and didn't know what she meant. Well, Shelley is our expert at numerology.
I'm not an expert.
You
basically are going to add up the day, the month, and the year. Add them up.
Of what?
So, like, I'm 10-10-6.
Your birthday.
10-10-1963.
Yeah, your birthday.
And you reduce it down. It is.
That's
I am
a good
a
opportunity
2.
to fresh the champagne. Well,
So I'm a 2.
and I'm a what?
All right. What's your birthday?
01-17-49.
1 plus 17 is 18 plus 1949. Add that all up. See, I can't do math when I'm drinking.
22, 23 plus 18, 33, 41.
41. So 4 plus 1 is 5. So you're a 5.
Is that good or bad?
It's just, you can look at, there's websites out there on numerology. You can look at what is indicated by the number, and it goes 1 through 9, and you could be anywhere from a 1 through a 9. So it tells you a little bit more about yourself. And mine just says that I'm creative and that I like to use my voice to get my message and my creativity out there, which I think is true.
Mine says I'm a wise guy and people don't like me.
I believe yours is adventuresome.
Yeah.
Yeah, which your life has
That's
been pretty
wise,
adventuresome.
yep. So anyway, Amy, if you just Google numerology, it'll have those websites where it explains to you how to add up the numbers in your birth date, and then it tells you what your number represents.
Yeah.
So and look at a number of them, because if you don't like the first one, you can go to the second one and it'll give you a different.
It's just fun. I like it.
It's like talking
fun.
about astrology.
It's not something that dictates my life, but it's fun.
Let's see.
Fawn Lakes Campground, New Mexico. Michael Elder says, part of your soul being undiscovered is a quote. I'm not sure from where. Eric Schmidt's asking him whose quote.
Sean and M cites a quotation. Denise said something and then it was retracted. Sean Malloy, AGK, I apologize. I didn't mean things to come off like that. Sean, no, we don't. Look, you don't have to apologize to us. We're up here having a great time celebrating our anniversary, drinking champagne, dinking that champagne, and I didn't take it as off-putting, and I don't expect you to apologize for it.
He's got that same thing you've got.
Which is the...
Oh, the woman got her back up. Now, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I'm in trouble. You are definitely not in trouble. So don't worry about it.
Toby knows that I'm not that bad.
Yeah. Please don't worry about it. And don't apologize. Fibonacci, AGK, FYI, Facian's wife wrote a book about her life in Russia. Half the book is about her cow and how it saved her and her daughter. So maybe Fenn was trying to incorporate some of his interest in Facian into his book.
David Dow suggests, after I find the treasure, there can be a Gypsy Kiss drone footage channel.
We can do unboxing of all the stuff that I have to buy to do this show.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody, Eric Schmidt, thank you, Eric. Until one has loved an animal, a part of one's soul remains unawakened. Anatoly France, who was a Nobel Prize winner in literature. Thank you, Eric.
Yes, thank you.
Eric, you know what you ought to do sometime? You ought to
be our producer.
You ought to think about coming on our Wednesday show and picking a topic and let's launch into that topic with our panel.
Absolutely.
We'd love to. Send Eric, if you want to do that, send an email to gypsyskiss.com.
That'd be fun.
.com. gypsyskiss@gmail.com. Oh,
yeah, he already knows our email address.
Yeah. So send us if you want to be on the program. Let's pick a topic and we'll do it like we did with Sean Dotson last night.
Michael Elder says, Forrest said the treasure was not hidden near a structure. He never said the clues were not structures.
Good point. Are any of our clues structures? No, we don't have
ours.
No. The straight mustard, the number 7, is the seeker, the thinker, the searcher of truth.
Yes.
Yes.
And if you continue into it, and I don't know where you're at, but in a different one, it also says that some of their flaws include being afraid of being betrayed. So I think that's telling.
So remember to give the video a thumbs up. Thank you, Joel. We'll cover that in just a minute as we close up here. AGK echo is back. I have no idea where the echo is coming from. Let me.
It was so good on Tuesday, and then we just had issues ever since.
Yeah. I don't know what's producing the echo. I turned my headphones down, so it's not from there. All my other audio inputs are locked. We only see the one, so. And of course, it bothers me that it's sometimes heard and sometimes not. So that's even a harder problem to resolve.
Right.
So. Joel, thank you. Reminding everybody to give us a thumbs up. YouTube likes videos that have thumbs up. We'll talk about that in just a moment. AGK, maybe the time someday is important to be able to see the blaze. Susan, I think you're onto something there. So, Eric, did the echo just start up again? We're not doing anything here that would cause the echo to restart. I don't understand why, unless it's just the fact that we're using 2 microphones.
Well, and we had it last night, but we didn't have them Tuesday.
Yeah, weird. Try unplugging headphones. Yeah, Lori, that's what we're trying to figure out. It shouldn't, because both these mics are going through a preamp, and the preamp is resolving them into a mono signal, so we shouldn't getting that. And it could I'm going to take off my headphones since I don't need to listen to myself, and we're not listening to anybody else. We'll see if that helps at all.
It's not doing you any good anyway. You're not hearing the echo.
Yeah, apparently.
So we just wait for you people to tell us what's wrong.
Yeah, see,
Zoom is adjusting
stream
rate. That could very well be it, Brian.
Brian, except that we're not using Zoom in this case. We're using OBS. So. Oh, Brian, did you get my email? I haven't checked my email, so I'll wait till you respond. You don't have to do it here in public in the room. But I had an idea last night after last night's show, and I thought you'd be perfect for it since you understand the technology. So let's see.
Did you unplug the headphones or just take them off?
Headphones are unplugged, disconnected from everything.
All right, let's give that a try.
I guess what we could do is share a microphone. Pull your microphone out and share a microphone, if that's doing it.
No,
That shouldn't cause an echo.
No,
That's
I
not
mean
echo stuff.
we didn't have a problem
And
on Tuesday,
it's resolved in the preamp.
and we
so.
used two mics on Tuesday.
Okay.
Thank you for helping us with our tech, because we need all the help we can get.
We do have moments, don't we?
All right.
Okay,
That's
is
all
that
I'm
it?
seeing. Thank you
Is
for your
that-
input on today's chapter. And again, if you see things that we don't, we'd love to hear your opinion on it as well.
Oh, just didn't want to do that. Hang on.
What did you do?
I've got to get my keyboard back.
Oh. Problem with trying to isolate these subtle clues in the stories is that we unconsciously allow our preconceived biases to guide our decision-making processes. Yes, Sean and M. I agree.
There's a name for that, right? Confirmation bias?
Mm.
Okay, you're up.
Clifford Langeneck suggests maybe it's the fillings in your teeth that cause a problem.
No, I think it's the drinking of the champagne.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to agypsieskiss.tv. Click on the bell to receive notifications, and find our blog at agypsieskiss.com. You can subscribe to that as well for frequent updates. And we have some information that goes all the way back to 2013 on there, as well as photographs and some videos. You can find us on Instagram at _gypsies_kiss. We try to post almost every day to let you know what's going on and coming up. At twitter.com, we're at agypsies. Facebook, you can find us at agypsieskiss. That's our Facebook page. And you can email us at gypsieskiss@gmail.com.
And also, if you're interested in purchasing some of Gypsy's Kiss branded merchandise, you can do that at Zazzle.com, including our T-shirt design, which has a picture of the mountains and the sunshine with our logo as the sun, and says, "You can find me somewhere in the mountains north of Santa Fe." So,
It only took you a year to memorize.
yeah. Thanks.
But
If you'd like to continue donating to our project to help us along,
it says look for me in the mountains somewhere.
I'll get it right one of these
One of these
days.
days.
You can donate to our project at paypal.me/agypsieskiss. Everything is appreciated, whatever you decide you want to contribute, if you want to decide you want to contribute at all. We don't hold it against you if you don't, right? We know you're always going to be here. Don't forget what Baby Shash says. Baby Shash tells you to give us a thumbs up, baby.
Thumbs up.
That's important to us, and it's important to keeping this project going because as YouTube continues changing its rules about what it's going to support and what it's not going to support, we want to stay ahead of that game. And and you giving us a thumbs up really helps us do that. So, okay, is that it? Anything else serious? I don't want to miss
Amy
anybody.
Smith says, Shelley, this is for you to think about. I keep coming to a cold case. Any other empath thoughts?
Oh,
Cold case. Not at the moment, but I'll give it some thought.
AGK, I like running comments on the side, but I think it would be better if yours and Shelley's window was bigger. We struggle with getting out all the information. We had people saying that that they really wanted to see the chat along the side, so that I didn't have to upload it on our blog, et cetera, so that we added that. Then, of course, we had to recognize the fact that we were doing presentation slides for most of our presentations, and you had to be able to see that. So that leaves us with that little tiny window, which honestly, we kind of like. We don't necessarily want to be the center of attention. There's so many other things going on in our programs that we don't mind it being small. We think it's big enough. Once you see the video online, it's we've tried this several times now, and we think it's big enough for everybody to get a sense. And you can always see what the back of my office looks like.
You can always put us on the screencast on the big screen TV or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's actually a higher quality product now with this.
Exactly. Yeah. We were limited to 720p when we were doing it the way that we were doing it with Switcher Go. This gives us a full 1920 by 1080 HD image. So we think it's better. And like Shelley said, if you need to, just open it up on YouTube so that it's full screen, and you'll be able to do that because it's pretty good quality at that point. Okay. Yeah, see, echo only lasted 15 seconds. Oh, I see. John Gold says a bigger window would be nice, especially on iPhones.
Right.
We never think about that.
Well,
So-
maybe we can mix it up a little bit more where we can add a few more shots of us full screen.
I could probably maintain just a full screen. So, but then we'd lose the chat, right? We'd lose that if there was no.
Well, if we were where the
presentation
slides are
Yeah.
for just part of it. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll
All right.
we'll play with it.
All right. So you got anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Let's.
Oh, by the way, I do have something else. I just hit 200. Thank you so much
200
on my 200 subscribers on my channel, The Softer Side. So thank you for that. I just put out a new video this morning. If you haven't seen it yet, go to thesofterside.me. And also, I'll be doing a Facebook Live version of that same presentation this evening with slides and then a Q&A session to follow, and that will be on my page on Facebook, Shelley Carney Productions.
At what time?
And that will happen at 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time
7:00 Mountain Standard.
this evening. So if you're interested in that, please check it out.
Guess who's the producer on that show? Okay, close it up.
All right. Thank you so much for coming today and watching and participating in our chat and our book club and wishing us a happy anniversary and all of the good things that happened here today. Thank you so much. And for A Gypsy's Kiss, the book club, I'm Shelley Carney.
And I'm Toby Eunice. We'll see you next Tuesday for our regular program. We've got a video recorded episode coming out tomorrow, so take a look at that. And then we'll see you guys on Tuesday. And we're doing our show on Wednesday, again, panel style. And by that time, I'll have worked out a producer to help us with a Q&A so that we don't miss anything. And also, our special guest that evening is the world famous searcher, Cynthia Meacham. So join us for that conversation, and let's have her there to have you guys ask a lot of questions. Okay. So until then, this is Toby Eunice.
And Shelley Carney. Tink.
This is Toby Eunice. Thanks for joining us today. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Seventy-four.